Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you, everybody. G-Way, I see you. Angel, I see you. Appreciate the faves. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Pour It On with Juancho. You can find us every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Pour It On is a show where artist experience doesn't matter. All you need is your will to learn, paint, create, and have fun. On Pour It On, you can follow along with myself with one pouring technique that I've selected for this week's show. Iconic painter Bob Ross said, "We don't make mistakes, just happy little accidents." So let's pour it on and see what we create. I'm your host Juancho, and this is this week's canvas. If you guys were on last week's episode, you've seen that I had done a pour on this canvas, and you're gonna kind of get a chance to see what happens when a pour doesn't really turn out the way that I want it to turn out. So with that being said, this is our canvas today. There was an image behind it. It was taped off, but it is untaped at this moment. I will be letting you guys see that here in a second after we get this thing going on the road. So basically today we're going to be doing a little bit of brush work, you guys. Normally I just do pours and I use other mediums and things like that to incorporate in pieces. But today we did the pour. It didn't really, like I said, come out how I wanted to, but we're gonna focus on this piece. And without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what we have under here. This is just a canvas, y'all. So the hitting image was Sonic the Hedgehog, y'all. I know y'all can see that. I'm sure you can see it out there, a little upside down. But basically, what we're going to try to do with this piece, y'all, is have some Sonic coming out of waterfall. We're going to add some rings and things like that to it. You know, the gold rings that Sonic collects in the game. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing started. I have a few colors here that I'm gonna mess with. I'm gonna use some sponges today, you guys. Like I said, some brush work. So it's gonna be a couple of different tools that we're gonna be using to incorporate into today's piece. So I'm gonna start off with the top here. I'm gonna get me I also have some marker pens, y'all. So with that being said, I'm gonna be incorporating marker pens in actual acrylic paint for you. So let me move this out the way. All right. I believe we used phthalo blue and sky blue and white, I believe, on the original pour. So I'm going to be using some of those colors as well, so we can add some touches to this piece here. Okay. Oh, lost my earpiece. Lost one. Okay. So I got my white here, my white paint. I'm just gonna put some here on my canvas that I'm gonna use as my paint board. Let's see here. We are going to let's work with this first. Okay. We're gonna work with this first, and I'm just gonna try to get some of that foam at the bottom that we get on waterfalls. So, all right. And I'm just taking the sponge. I'm applying some of this white paint, but I'm dabbing it out just a little bit because I don't want it to be too much. Trying to keep that like cloudy look to it. All right. All right. All right. See here, we got some cobalt blue. Take a little bit of that. If you guys are just tuning in, this is Poured on Juancho. You can find us every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you missed last week's show, we worked on a pour for this background. As you can see, that's this blue up here and the brown and green down below. Basically, this is Sonic coming out of a waterfall. Like I said, we're going to have some rings and things like that that we're going to incorporate later. But right now, I'm just trying to build up our waterfall here and see if we can't get that looking all nice. So, a little bit of blue there. And take one of these. I'm just gonna drag some white into it so I can kind of muddy that up a little bit. All right. All right. So I'm just gonna take that and kind of place that within that. All right. We'll use just a little bit more of that just so we can get that that blue effect in the water. All right. All right. So I'm gonna put that sponge to the side because I'm gonna come back over with some white. So I just wanted to really pop. All right. I'm just gonna take some white and some of this and okay. For some reason this brush is a little hard. All right. So I'm gonna work at the top now and bring some of this in together so that we can. I'm just adding some white highlights in some of these streaks. And if you mess up, you can just use like a wet towel, and it'll clean right up. It'll clean right up. If you guys are just tuning in to this Pour It On with Juancho, you can find us every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're working on another piece this week. The theme is Sonic. There is no actual pour technique with today's show, but I am trying to show you guys some of my brushwork. As you can see, the Sonic himself was painted. So we're adding some other elements here. I'm trying to keep my locks out the paint if I could. And bring some of this blue, the white here. Darken up some of that white. So I'm just basically trying to make like some streaks in the blue there so that we can uh, accent some of these other colors. I'm bringing some lighter blue in and some white. And then I'm going to come back with the sponge again at the top and just kind of tie it all in. Let's see what else we want right here. So I'm filling in where some of the paint didn't catch from our pour here. And I just wanted to kind of accent Sonic so you can see. Lighter blue. Trying to darken this up just a little bit. Because this is where basically where he exited the water. So I'm just trying to get around the gloves just a little bit, kind of give us a little shadow. You guys are just tuning in. This is Poured On with Juancho. You can find us every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am just working on a Sonic the Hedgehog piece for today's show, y'all. So if you're just tapping in, we're just adding some details and things like that. The Sonic was already painted on. We did a pour a couple of weeks ago. Or actually last week, not to be exact, we did a pour last week, and with the pour, we added a couple of variations of blue, and then we poured that on with our medium into a 1 cup pour. All right. All right, I'll come back with my sponge at the top, and we're going to. You guys are just tuning in. This is Poured On Wancho. You can find us every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Trying to get our mist together, as you would call it. It's more a mist than anything that we're trying to create here at the top. And I'm just using a sponge to do so. All right. All right. We had a couple of mistakes on the gloves and stuff like that when I was taking the paint off. So, like I was saying last week, like the gist of the of covering the painting was trying to get most of the image not touched with paint. Obviously, I'm going to have to come back and fill in some spots, as you can see in the gloves, a little bit in the boots here, and that's okay. That happens sometimes. You just gotta go back and clean it up, and it's not that hard. So. Right. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start messing with the gloves a little bit. I'm gonna let some of that paint dry for a bit before I start keep messing with it. So I still have some white on my palette here. All it is a canvas that I probably was never going to use, but we're gonna just go ahead and start filling in this glove. So, and it might take a couple of layers because it is white and there was a color that actually um, landed on the white, so that blue. And I'm gonna try my best to get it all out in one swoop, but like I said, it might take a coat or two. All right. I'm just trying to fill in this area where it's supposed to be white. Like I said, it might be a coat, might be two coats. We're gonna see. I'm not pressed to get it in one coat, but if it does, like that's good too. Yeah, it is, that's good too. I can see it's already starting to dry right there, so I know I'm gonna have to come back with another coat of white once it dries, and that's all right. I figured that much. I got majority of the piece without getting the paint inside of it. The trick to what taping off, if you use a clear mat, usually the tape it'll hold and the paint won't seep through. Unfortunately, I didn't have my clear mat last week, so I wasn't able to do it. I did just paint some white over it, hoping that would block uh any colors from bleeding through. Um, Unfortunately, like I said, the blue still bled through a little bit. That's all right. I need me a smaller brush. Need me a smaller brush. Smaller brush. So I'm just gonna get this part of the glove right here. All right. So I'm gonna turn this one more time just so I can get the other angles. If you guys are just tuning in, this is Poured on with Juancho. You can find us every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today we're working on a Sonic the Hedgehog piece, y'all. And I'm just sitting here doing some cleanup and touches and detail on today's piece, y'all. So if you missed last week's episode, you didn't get a chance to see the pour being put on this, and that's okay. You're here today. Try to get this. And I know I'm skipping around areas. I'm trying to let some of the paint dry in some of the spots so I don't keep smearing it. All right, y'all. Detail, detail, detail. See here, we got how much time we got? We got 20 minutes. We're doing all right for 20 minutes, I would say. Just trying to get this glove. Make sure ain't no blue in that. All right. All right. Some of these areas got a little bit more blue than others, so it's taking a little bit to try to cover it up. Now, if these are light colors, it probably would have cleaned up real nice, really easily. But like blues and blacks and even red, trying to go over white with that, like usually you gotta prime that stuff to try to kill some of that pigment. Usually you gotta kill some of that stuff. Right. Now I'm gonna work on the shoes. Let the gloves dry for a little bit and work on the shoes really. Get this spot here. I was just talking about Scooby. What? I was just talking to Scooby about you. Scooby Dooby Doo? Scooby Dooby Doo? Oh, you was talking to Mermaid. Oh, my fault. Your mistake. Man. If you guys are just tuning in, it's Pour It On with Juancho. You can find us every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yes, I know the canvas is already white, but this just makes it pop. Actual paint makes it pop. Right. Socks looking alright. Or sock looking alright. Sock looking not too bad. Not too bad. Right. Just adding a little paint around the ankle here. The ankle area a little white just so that sock look like a sock. A little bit too much there. Okay. All right. I'm going to add some red here. I'm going to go over the boot a little bit here and make sure that red is popping. Let's see, got a different brush right there. So initially I had went over it with a red marker, acrylic marker pen, but I wasn't really feeling the red. I really wasn't feeling the red. So that's why we're coming back with the acrylic paint for the red. And I'm just curving my brush strokes around the black line. I'm gonna try to leave it as clean as possible. That red looks a whole lot better. Red looks a whole lot better. All right. All right. All right, there we go. There we go. Okay. You guys are just tuning in. This is Poured On with Juancho. You can find us every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Getting towards the end of our show. We got about 15 minutes left. Going over some of these areas here, and then I'm gonna get back to the waterfall before we get out of here. But in the meantime, let's finish up this red on the boot, and I'm just trying to not get on the black area because I don't want to have to go back over the black. But if I do, then then I do. But in the meantime, we're just gonna try to get this red on here. There we go. That red looks a whole lot better. Whole lot better. All right. All right, we're going back to the sponge, y'all. Going back to the sponge. Just going to finish out this foam at the bottom. All right. Now that we got that. Okay. Well, per usual, we're almost at the end of the show, and I'm probably not going to get enough time to finish this as I would have hoped. I'm very detail oriented, so I like to like really get into my pieces and things like that. Tap into the Q&A part, and then I'll let you guys open the floor for you guys to ask some questions before we call it the show and tell. Um, so as you can see, I don't know if you can see that there. Let me see here. And it's not done. We got some work to do. But the theme is Sonic. The theme is Sonic, okay? And basically we got him running through some water. I'm gonna add some highlights to this when we get off the show, to help bring that water effect to life within the painting. And then I'll also be adding some highlights of Sonic himself. I just really had to get some of the main part of Sonic touched up where the paint bled through from our paint pour last week. Um, if you could title this painting, there really is no title for it per se. Collect gold rings is basically what you're gonna see on this piece. I got some gold rings that I'm gonna be placing on it before I pour resin on it. Let's see here. Now the piece isn't completed, so I can't say that it's completed. I do like how the foam at the bottom of the waterfall is starting to pop out. Um, it really is doing something for me here. I'm gonna have to add some highlights in here, some lighter blues and things like that to really get it to pop. But overall, I do really like how it's starting to turn out. I wasn't sure about it when I first started working on the piece, and I was kind of skeptical as far as continuing it on this week's episode. But I promise is a promise, and I said that I was going to do some brush work and things like that. And you guys got a little bit of brush work. I know it wasn't too detailed or anything like that, but we did use some sponges and we did use a brush as well today, and we added some paint to our already existing canvas. But you guys, this was poured on with Juancho, episode 6 for season 3. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and open up the floor. So if anybody has any questions before we play the music, now it's your time to ask the questions. I try to save that for the end because otherwise we'll spend most of the episode on just questions, and then I can't get anything done on the piece. But if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask them at this time. If you're interested in being on a future episode, make sure you go ahead and hit me with a follow on my Instagram. Also, you guys, I know you guys see the Juancho Juice shirt. This is the first of many to come. So make sure you guys tap in with me and Gin and Juice, so you can get your merch and stuff like that. Also, I'll be on Red Room Talk tonight, y'all, talking about obstacles. On the Red Room Talk at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also catch me tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for no, not popsicles. For Soul Food Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The top gifter of tomorrow's show at Soul Food will be one of the first to get the Adventures with Jincho t-shirt. So don't miss out on that. It's in my live tomorrow, y'all. So make sure y'all pull up for that. You don't want to miss it. Other than that, any questions? Popsicles? No, you don't have to eat popsicles to get popsicle sticks. You just go buy them at the craft store. Dollar Tree has them too. If you don't want to go to Michael's or anything like that and spend crazy money for their popsicle sticks, go spend your $1.25 at the dollar store and get you some popsicle sticks. Um, that's if you're doing paint pours and mediums and stuff like that. What kind of medium do I use? It depends. Lately, I've been really working with Floetrol. I think it seems to create the best sales for your painting. I know other people use like deco art and some other things like that. But whatever your medium choice is, I hope you enjoy it. If you haven't tried Floetrol, you should give it a try. It definitely develops some beautiful cells. But I think that's about it, y'all. Got to leave it for one or two more questions, and then we're gonna play this little tune, and we're gonna get up out of here. Any more questions? Last questions. Last questions. Little Diddy, Tupac or Biggie? Look, we ain't doing that on here right now because people in the audience might want to fight me or something just based off of my response. You know what I'm saying? You know, most people from the West Coast gonna say Tupac. Most people from the East Coast gonna say Biggie. Well, my favorite rapper all time is Nas. So I said what I said. Fight your mama. Let's play this Diddy.